We use them constantly, so much so that we tend to take them for granted. Tools magnify and focus our strength, allowing us to lift or move things that would otherwise be difficult, if not impossible. But a tool is useful only if it's used properly. An improperly used tool is not only frustrating, but potentially dangerous. The purpose of this program is to acquaint you with the various dock tools that are used throughout the roadway system and to demonstrate the correct method of their operation. We'll be discussing the dock cart, the two-wheel hand truck, the drum truck or barrel truck, the side wheel cart, the conveyor, the six-wheel dolly, the Johnson pry bar, the cargo bar, the forklift, and the pallet jack. Of all these tools, the dock cart probably gets more use than any other. As a trailer is stripped, freight is loaded onto a dock cart. The loaded cart is then placed on the drag line. Always push a dock cart, never pull it. Pushing gives you better control over the cart and also reduces the possibility of injury to heels and legs. Roadway has two types of dock carts, the cage cart and the flat cart. The cage cart is designed for a large load of small carton freight, and the flat cart is designed for larger, bulkier pieces of freight. The two-wheel hand truck is normally used to handle large or bulky items that are impractical to place on a dock cart. The freight is tipped forward in order to slide the truck blade under the freight. The freight is then tipped back onto the hand truck for transportation. The two-wheel hand truck can also be used in a horizontal position to handle long freight. To do this, simply lift one end of the freight slide the hand truck underneath and balance the freight on top. The drum truck has only one function, the movement of drums or barrels. The drum truck has a sliding catch on it that is hooked over the lip of the drum. Two other catches support the bottom of the drum. Tilt the drum back and it's ready to be transported. The side wheel cart is used for handling large flat sheets of material such as metal or plastics. To use the side wheel cart, insert the blade under the freight and tilt back. The conveyor is a system of rollers that is normally used to load up and over a base load of pails, drums, or bags. Freight placed on the conveyor rolls to the bottom of the incline, where a second person counts the pieces, checks the address, and loads the freight with the labels up and out. The six-wheel dolly is a small platform with 3 sets of wheels. The center wheels are slightly lower to allow greater maneuverability. The Johnson pry bar is a pry bar on wheels. It's frequently used in conjunction with a 6-wheel dolly to handle heavy, odd-sized shipments. For example, in order to handle this awkward piece of freight, one person lifts one end with the Johnson pry bar, while another person inserts a 6-wheel dolly under the center of the freight. When the Johnson pry bar is lowered, the freight is balanced on the 6-wheel dolly and can be easily maneuvered about the dock. The cargo bar is used to stabilize the freight in a partially loaded trailer. It's normally used during transportation around the terminal or in certain P&D situations. When a partially loaded trailer needs to be moved, the cargo bar is placed against the load and locked in place with a ratchet tension lever. This holds the freight in place during trailer movement, thereby avoiding possible damage to our customer's freight. The forklift is used for extremely heavy or palletized freight. It has a counterweight on the rear, which gives it a lifting capacity of approximately 5,000 pounds. The steering mechanism is in the rear to allow better maneuverability in the trailer. The front of the forklift has blades that are used to raise and lower freight. The blades can also be tilted to the front or the back. In order to handle this freight, the operator lifts the freight and then tilts it back at a slight angle for safety in transit. To handle long freight, the forklift can be equipped with a lift jib. The lift jib can be extended to handle varying lengths of freight. Nylon straps are used to bind the freight to the lift jib. Of course, whenever you're transporting anything with a lift jib, you must exercise extreme caution due to the added length of freight in front of the forklift. The rug pole is a forklift attachment that's used specifically for moving rolls of carpeting. As with the lift jib, you must allow plenty of clearance along your line of travel to accommodate the extra length of the freight. The drum carrier is a forklift attachment that is used specifically for transporting drums or barrels. A drum lift is an attachment that is used strictly for drum recovery. The forklift is one of the most useful tools on the dock. However, if it's misused, it can also be one of the most dangerous. For that reason, the only persons who are permitted to operate a forklift are those who've been tested and qualified by a supervisor. The last dock tool we're going to discuss is the pallet jack. Like the forklift, the pallet jack is used to move heavy or palletized freight. Normally, the pallet jack is used during these times when a forklift is unavailable. To use the pallet jack, insert the blades under the freight. Once the freight has been raised off the floor, it can be easily transported. We have just discussed 10 different freight handling tools. If used unwisely, they are a danger, not only to our customers' freight, but to you personally. Properly used, however, they can make your job easier, safer, and more productive.